Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's get the 6 O's out for a second. Hmm. Hmm. There we go, I guess. I guess that'll do. I mean, some parts of this I just really don't like. Just don't feel like it's coming out quite the way I'd really would like it to come out. And if you're not happy, even though it's a detail that will not be seen, so I'm gonna fix this one. The other one's, I guess, trim back a little bit on this one just to get it a little shorter. Anyway, happy Saturday. Hope, Joe, you had a good Friday. The hell is that? Hmm. To clean these things in a second as well. Sorry, give me a second, peoples. Just want to get this thing done. Ah, you fucker. Ah. popped out. God damn it. Of course. Sorry, guys, about that. The live, I needed to change it over to live. Hey, what's going on, dude? It's been a while. Well, I got my first Father's Day gift, my first Mr. Rogers sweater. Oh, they're the best. Stefan, I'm doing well, and I am working on wiring up an engine for, I'll show you in just a minute. Actually, I'll do a little recap. Just got to get this thing in the hole. What's going on with you, Stefan? There we go. That's better. All right. So basically, I'm using LED wiring or LED thread, call it LED wire. And all I'm doing is just adding it to this engine block that goes on the that's going to go into a motor like that. So it's kind of wired all. That one's already done. Cowling is in place, and this thing is all wired up. In fact, it's all wired up in order to, it's been motorized. That's going to fit into one of these wings that have been turned into a nacelle. And then that is going to sit in here like so to make it a backpack, a motorized backpack that will get mounted onto the back of this ancient GOG. Hey, Edwin, good evening. How are you? So it's roughly, this has been completely reshaped, this backpack, which came from an old Regal Goo from like the 1980s. Oh yeah, it's been a while. I've been full-time teaching at preschool, so my sleep schedule has changed a lot. Oh, that's nice, Stefan. How's that going, man? Wow, that's right. So, God, man. Dude, I remember before you went, returned, I think it was returned back to college. Now you're back, got your degree, and now you're teaching. That's awesome. Good for you. How are you finding it? And what age group are you teaching, Stefan, if you don't mind me asking? Anyway, that's what we got going on here. So we got one engine done. Got to get the other one now done. Anyway, that was like weird. It's been awesome. I love it so far. 4 and 5-year-olds. Oh, wow. Yeah. Stefan, is this in a public school system or a daycare center, or what's the and there's a reason why I'm asking. My my older daughter has been working in a daycare center as a teacher, I guess, or as a daycare provider for kids that are right around that age, typically as old as, she's worked as old as 4, if I'm correct. It's been dealing with a lot of the very young ones, like in the 2 range recently. I love it so far. I tell you, that's great. People who take care of our children and our elderly don't get paid enough. That's all I'm going to say. All right, we're going to go down to 8 at this point. See if 8 is a better length. Could be. That one right there is going to get tossed. Let's get some coffee in. Good day today so far. Working on my helmet. Nice. I'll call it done for this one because it's already taking too long. Yeah. So, Edwin, how do you think it came out? Do you think it came out pretty good and you're just like, well, the next one will be better? Or is this one like, wow, this one came out great, even though it took so long? It's the preschool for the college. Teachers and students can have their kids go there, and any available spots are for people in the neighborhood. That's awesome, man. Wow. Stefan, if I'm correct, Los Angeles, correct? I was a home care provider, or I like to call a phone a friend, but won't pay enough. Yeah, that's ain't that part of it. That's my point. You got these people making all these gobs of money for things that they think are important, right? Look at this guy. Look at this guy moving and selling companies and that kind of thing, and look at how much money they make. And it's like, okay, that's great. How does that impact my family? And it doesn't. So, yep, nice. That's the thing I don't understand. It's like, so you think that having somebody who builds a company, has it go to an IPO or sells it or whatever, makes billions of dollars, and now, ooh, look how cool they are, right? And then you're looking at your kids and where you have to send your kids and the people who take care of your kids, the people who take care of your parents. Human priorities, particularly the ones here in the States, are wrong. My 2 cents. Let's see what we got here. The only reason is because the layer lines are visible in the arms. Tried 3 different methods and nothing works. Well, it's the methods of skill and equipment. Yeah. 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 On to the next one. Yeah. Mind blown. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Priorities are wrong. There seems to be a human need for having something that somebody else does not have, that is exclusive, right? And there's value to an exclusivity of something. Like, that's what matters. Because something is the need for greed. Yeah. That there's an interesting thing, like, I've got something that nobody else has. I built a company that I sold and made a lot of money that nobody else could do, or I am the managing a company and no one else can do what I do, or I'm the president of a country and no one can do what I do, and we play hard to these people who have, in many ways, except for maybe the president, impact on our lives. Whereas our teachers, our daycare providers, those people who take care of our parents when they're in homes, that's unimportant work. That's me. Anybody can do that. Yeah, but they're taking care of your children. They're taking care of your parents. Anyway, fucked human priorities. Don't understand. And for anybody who's tuning into this and just saying, Jesus Christ, he sounds like a socialist. Yeah. 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 He sounds like a guy who's like, he doesn't value this. It's like, yeah, this is kind of what I believe. I've always believed this. I'll just paint it up, heavy weather it, and call it done for now. Good for you, Edwin. Yeah. And again, Edwin, I think that's a good plan because every now and then it's like, you know what? It's like even the work that I'm doing on this. Could I be a little bit more meticulous? Could I get a little bit more refinement on it? Yeah, probably. But how much time do I want to put into it? It's already going. I'm trying to get this thing done within a certain time frame. Or when I think about Like the little plane that I worked on, the same thing. At some point, you just got to say, you know what? I've got other stuff I have to do. You know, I'm looking forward to getting other projects going, including some of the shelf queens that are under here, or looking at some of the other models that I've got in my backlog. It's like, yeah, this is just too much. So at some point, you just got to say, I'm done. All right, this one might have been a little too short. We'll see. Anyway, not to change the topic, and I apologize, Stefan, because frankly, I'm very happy that you're happy with what you're doing. That's great. That is great. That's what matters. Clean this off a little bit. That was weird. Just changed over to top chat. Why? Who the fuck knows? I'd argue not anyone can, because I've had some horrible teachers and heard horror stories about people with family members in care centers. Absolutely. But I think I couldn't agree more with you, Stefan. I think what's the unfortunate is there's still a mentality of, oh, but that's just the way the industry is. That's the way these people are. You know, they're just not good, and it's just the way the everybody in that field is like. And the answer is, like any field, you know, if you're a good business owner, you know, and you know how to take care of your people and build your business and build something of value, that's better than the guy who's just like, I'm looking to build something, flip it, and make as much money and get the fuck out. And who the hell cares what happens to people around you, right? Or drives their business into the ground. Same thing, you know. But unfortunately, yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it's like I think we could all remember when we were younger. There are teachers who were very important to us, right? Who stood out, and to this day are probably a little bit more memorable than other teachers. That's what we need to target, not go for the lowest common denominator, but reach for a higher standard. And the same thing with daycare centers, or excuse me, with senior centers. My younger daughter recently was doing some work in one, and it was interesting, sort of the blasé attitude that was being done there for people who are, you know, having a really hard time taking care of themselves as they get older. It's always going to be in certain roles they aren't set out for. Absolutely. Look, there are people who are, you know, they're great with crunching numbers and they become, you know, engineers, physicians, mathematicians, whatever. You got people, sorry guys, sounds like I got a little bit of asthma going on today. You got people who have a business mindset and can build something. You got people who can be great teachers. Our children, my children, were both blessed with having a kindergarten teacher. I think she was kindergarten at the school that my wife taught at when they were both very young. And we still see her. She's retired now. She owns a bookstore. Mrs. Drewsdale was like fabulous, absolutely fabulous. What a one in a million teacher she was, in how she every day came in, even when the kids were acting up. She always came in with a big smile on her face and did everything she could to just make things better. Even when we see her today, she still has a big smile on her face, very warm, very inviting, very. When you talk to her, she felt like you felt like she was always listening. And imagine that when that's with kids, right? How cool is that? You know. So anyway, I'm going back to school so I can teach kindergarten. Really good for you. Stefan, does that require, I'm assuming it requires some kind of a bachelor's degree or a certification of some sort? That's great. What are those squarish tweezers? These might actually do a little bit better. Of course, this is probably because it's just a little too short. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this one out and do this again. That's fine. So this was at 8. This is good because this is the mistake I made at the very beginning, which is how long of a cable, how long do I need? I need something of a certain length, 9mm. Yep, and a certificate. Yeah, certificate is ass whooping. Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Stefan, first of all, it's great to see you, man. I'm so happy that you've been able to pop in, and I do hope you do. And I know it's wicked early for you because you're like 3 hours behind me. So what the fuck you're doing up at 3:30 in the morning? Not going to complain, but I do hope that you pop in whenever you can. I'd love to hear how things are going for you. She's been at this school now for I think it's 6 months, and it's trying because I think she's got people who, again, the frustration isn't that yes, the job itself is hard, so the kids are hard at times. But when you have people around you who aren't being able to support you and deal with some of the needs that some of these kids really have, um, especially when you got kids that are just problematic, how are you going to deal with that? That makes things very difficult. But she's been doing it for 6 months. She was at her previous school for, oh boy, I think 9 months. Yeah. So until she finds what she ultimately wants to do, um, which has been, I mean, for everything from being a child, a children's librarian, all the way through, doing some kind of social work or social advocacy. I do some family stuff. My brother got a flat, and 3A takes forever. 3A. Your brother got a flat. Are you talking about first of all, flat as an tire or flat as an apartment? Sorry, I'm context here. I'm kind of missing it. I apologize, Stefan. All right, let's cut some more wire, shall we? We're going to go to 9mm. The last one was 8. We're going to go to 9 now. There we go. Tire. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Oh, okay. So that's why you're up so. Okay. Context. Now everything kind of comes into play. Got it. Wow. Well, may your brother get a flat tire every, 3 to 6 months, and you'll be able to pop in and say hi. I would love that. I'm joking. I am joking, of course. All right, we're gonna let that one dry in there for a second. And then before I do the rest of them, then what I'll probably end up doing is I may just cut the rest of them, stick them in, and then just, yeah, and then start bending them. AAA. Oh, yeah. Good old AAA. AAA takes forever. Yeah. We I love AAA. We've had it for like, I don't know, 20 years or whatever, and we've been fortunate with how it works for us. Um, but my daughter, she was looking to come home because she's gonna go hang out with some friends. This is like a few months back. She had her car just basically died. Engine just things wouldn't start. Battery issues. So she goes out. She calls AAA. She's cold because it's in a closed parking lot. It was still towards the end of winter, early spring. Poor thing, freezing. Guy goes out there, jumps it, lets it run for a little bit, takes off. My daughter then pulls out of her spot, and almost instantaneously the car dies again. So she had to call AAA again, and they had to get out there and basically swap out a battery. Meanwhile, Joe is dropping nails on roads. Things just happen for a reason, bro. Isn't that true? Stefan, couldn't agree with you more. One of the something that I've appreciated the older I've gotten. I'm not saying like at the age I'm now, but as I've kind of observed over, say, like the last 20 years in particular, you get to a certain point in your life, right? That whether you like some things, like if there's things in your life that you like I love my family. I do like the neighborhood that we live in. I love the hobby that I'm doing. I wouldn't be doing all of this if everything else in my life, for good or bad, hadn't led to this, So, look, and I know I'm fortunate. I've had tough times, but I haven't had, some of those really evil things happen to me like, some people have had. So from my perspective, at least, I'm very fortunate that all the good and all the bad that's happened has kind of led to all this stuff that I've been able to do. Live streaming and having conversations with people around the world, working on models, the how I met my wife, all the stuff that we've done, and where we got into where we were having each of our children, all of that stuff, Just changed the battery on my EV. That reminded me I should buy a multimeter to check out things. Yeah. Edwin, you changed out the battery on your EV. Isn't your EV new? That's kind of interesting. Dude, I've had my I don't know how often you have to change battery on EVs, but like on my Prius, which is now heading into 6 years, knock on wood. I'm sure I'm going to have to replace the battery soon, but dude, that thing's like nothing. Of course, I just now curse myself, but so be it. All right, let's get this thing folded down. This is how I should have done it back. This is how I did it originally and how I should have done it. Okay. That's in. Push. Fold. Yeah. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's the one that's okay. I know exactly how to do this now. So we're going to get all this going again. Hey, Richie. Good morning. What's going on, brother? Hope you had a good Friday after you got home from work. Apparently, although it was a big battery, you should change the small battery as usual. Yes, last week the door won't open, and one time it says limited EV power. Oh, interesting. Yeah, time to change the battery. Wow, that's interesting. I remember about 2 years ago, I brought my car in for an oil change, and the guys were like, "Yeah, your battery looks like it needs to be replaced." Okay, I'll do it shortly. Yeah, no worries, no rush. And then since then, it's like nobody's ever said it's been brought in multiple times for checks. Nobody said, "Yeah, you got to replace your battery." Probably should. Depends on if I keep this thing or if I replace it. I'm not sure of what direction we're going to go in quite yet. Really depends on if it passes inspection or not. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4 more of these. So let's cut 4. Mr. Chris Renninger. Good morning, Chris. What's going on, brother? Hello. Yeah. I did take a nap for 2 hours. Jesus, once again, that's just weird. It just did this interesting thing about welcome to the live chat. At least this time it didn't change it over to top chat. Sorry, guys. Made dinner. was working on my kit till midnight and went to bed. Good for you. Which kit are you working on now, Richie? Welcome. Welcome. 9 mil. 1. 2. 3. 4. There we go. God, still smell that CA. Get that out of the way for a second. There we go. Roll that over there. Start sticking some wires in. Not much. Tired? Yeah. Date night last night, Chris? Or what were you doing, man? One. Whoops. Didn't know that one's stick enough. Actually, let's get some more CA on there. Two. I'll try. Maybe. Maybe it was date night. What do you mean, maybe? Well, Chris, you know, of course, I'm very happy for you, brother. I took a break from the Heavy Arms project and kind of hit a wall with it for colors. So I started my Sandrock project. Want to make it night inspired or somewhere along those lines. What will make it night inspired and lake today? Sweet. Lake and fishing. Is this like a you solo thing? You and somebody else? Date? Fish? No fish? I'm assuming fishing if you're going to the lake, but I could be wrong. Oh, shit. Three. Got one more to go. As Richie Knight would look sick on Sandrock. I don't even know what the Sandrock looks like. That's how much. I mean, I know what a few of them look like. I couldn't tell you what the Sandrock looks like. Found out some more about her. She has her master's degree and she is in charge of admin. No way. Wow. Cool. Chris, how many dates have you guys been on? Do you mind me asking? And again, if I get too personal, you can always tell not answer. Don't worry about it. Or you can just tell me to shut up, George. I'm good with that too. Whenever I think about things that are 3-day nice, whenever I think about knights, I always think about more like shiny metal armor. So like some kind of either a metallic finish or like a either a metal, like a polished aluminum, polished silver, something like that, or a candy type of color. I don't know. For some reason, that's what I think about when I think about knights. Let's see. Look up Nightmare from Soul Calibur. That would be nice armor with a gold trim. With gold trim. I laughed and said, "What the hell is a smart girl like you doing with this? Like me?" Any red flags yet, bro? That's good. It's good on you, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I'm already got a huge sword from a 30 millimeter. Just going to do something with the Sandrock shield. Nice. Yeah, righty. So we got 4 of these things. Let's see if we can actually show this without dropping it. Let's see. You can see 4 of those wires just kind of, yeah, camera doesn't want to focus. Shocking. Yeah, you can almost see 4 of those wires kind of poking up. So I'm going to bend them into place now. And then we'll do the inner wiring after that. As we were saying earlier, Chris, never shortchange yourself on what you're think. There is a tendency to believe that people of a certain educational level might be better than us or what have you. And the answer is no, that's not true. Ever, ever. The movie Say Anything mean anything to anybody? All right, let's bend this thing into place. Interesting. This one seems to be off a little bit. Give me 1 second here, please. Okay, I have to mess with that a little bit in a second. Use a sword from the throne Jvai and add to it. Nice. I'm turning my Sandrock into a Dom Wing X UC crossover. Cool. Found a 1/44 scale cloak on Amazon. I'm just going to make it dirty with weathering. Good for you. You found a cloak. I'm assuming this is kind of like a third party something, Richie, that'll get thrown on. She laughed and said, "Well, you are cute and you are smart. I like listening to you talk about mechanics and cars. You know, I know, don't give yourself enough credit." Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Joe. And no red flags yet, at least none I have noticed yet. Honeymoon phase, but things, again, you'll know soon enough. That's awesome, Chris. I'm so happy for you, brother. I'm really happy for you. That's great. Obviously, it's been you've had a rather entertaining road, so this is maybe this is again the road. What we were talking about earlier, where your roads lead, right? Sometimes you go through some really nasty shit to finally get to that one place that's just fabulous, and maybe this is it. All right, excuse me 1 second. Man, I would love to get this wiring done this morning. I got about another hour and 10, 15 minutes. The benefit of getting this wiring done is then I can get it all, I can get it primed and painted. Hell yeah. I can get it primed and painted. Oops, did I just lose the other 2 wires? No, everything's up here. No, I'm good. And that's kind of what I'm gunning for right now. I got to get this thing in that phase. All right, we're going to rebend some of this. All right, won't go any further. Okay, fine, be that way. Whoops. Not what I want. Easy enough to fix. Mostly easy enough to fix. But what I could do, you know what? I'm also fighting this thing. It's like I could just trim some of that end off. Take a 0.5 millimeter off. And that should give me what I need. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. It's just struggling a little bit with this one. Just because it's just not sitting exactly the way I want it to, but it will. Just not going to get this end to go in the way I want it to. Come on. All right, we're going to glue that one in place in a second. Sorry, guys. That's awesome. My road is bumpy and full of potholes. Ain't that true? But the point is, it's the journey. Pure Michigan right there, Richie. We all got those potholes in life, though. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. I think with rare occasion, does anybody have very few potholes in their lives, right? This is just the way it works. Maybe I'm waiting for what's next. I warned her I'm very quick to walk away when I see the negative rudeness start. Come with people, life, anthem, short to put up with constant disrespect. Yeah. Yep. Same here. There's someone out there for everyone. I truly believe that. They are out there. Yep. She said, right. I don't get people who act like that. There you go. Look, there are going to be disagreements. There's going to be fights. That kind of comes with it. My wife and I were talking about this with our older daughter a couple of nights ago, and we had an interesting conversation. Not going into the details, but it was that, when you love somebody, when you really want to be with somebody, it's like you have to work it. This isn't just like, we've been so trained on Hollywoodization of how romances should be. The happily ever after. It's like there's no such thing as fucking happily ever after. You have to work every day at a relationship because there's going to be times when you're both in sync, and then things going to come up and you're out of sync, and that's fine. Just got to find ways of getting back in sync, or understand, is it important enough to have like a battle or a war over? And the answer is no, it's not. you know. So there will always, 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 always be differences. All right, let's get this one done. Always. My wife and I disagree on quite a few things, you know. Shrek 2-5. What? All right. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Come on. Stop pissing me off. Well, that could be why. There's something, I don't know if I just didn't bore far enough into this because now I'm using the same length and really struggling. Sorry, guys. Give me a moment here. I apologize. Okay. That will do. Break time. Life has its ups and downs, and the person you choose should be able to navigate those things with you. Exactly. Yeah, I get fights and discussions, but having the respect enough to have a talk about it and have to not pull the victim card is what I want. Yeah. Yeah. But also having, in my opinion, also having an open mind enough to understand that, you know what, they may bring something to you that, excuse me. No, they may bring something to you that you're like, you don't agree with, but that's something that's important to them. Always hard. Again, every day, a relationship is worked on. Thank you. Appreciate it, Stefan. A relationship is something you work on. Yeah, no such thing as a happily ever after. All right, I'm going to just keep that one there. I'm fine with that. Let's bend this thing out of the way because it's in the way now. Let's get this one done. Of course. Ah. It would bother me if it didn't look at my nose so much. Ah, mercy. Like she asked my politics beliefs, or said, well, let me ask you this. Can you have a discussion without going hostile? Example, can you have an actual talk without and hear opinions? Yeah. I have my ex to disagree with. That's as close as I get to a relationship. She knows the reason I won't get back with her. She is a lot of debt. She has a lot of debt, or is this another euphemism I don't understand? Opinions, yeah. I use as example actually George. I'd laugh at that too. How we don't see everything eye to eye, but we talk, have ideas, learn from each other, and still best friends. Absolutely. My happily ever after is getting winning numbers. Yeah. I'm gonna look you up if that happens, Richie. Yeah, funny enough. So one of my close friends here, a guy by the name of Tom, he and I politically are on opposite spectrums, like opposite. He is a hardcore right wing guy, and I am, of course, like a socialist, right? And and he had surgery recently on his foot, and he's in recovery. So he's home, kind of just doing nothing. Unfortunately, he just can't move. So of course, and we build models all the time. And earlier this week, I just said, hey, Tom, can I just stop by? Let's just kind of hang out because, you mind if I swing by? He goes, yeah, I love it. So we spent about 3 hours. I got out of work, headed down to see him for a while. We talked about, family models, all sorts of shit. The only thing we don't talk about is politics. Why? Because we know we're not going to agree on that. And in the end, this is kind of like what I was saying earlier. Sometimes we put these obstacles in our path um, to prevent us from being able to relate. They're not as important. Now, having said that, if somebody has an opinion that says, I'll use an insane example. Somebody says, I think all Greeks should be slaves to whatever. I might have a problem with that. If you believe that in your core, I'd probably say, we're probably going to have some incredible differences. If you have certain views, I might have an incredibly hard time of being able to, particularly if you espouse them all the time. Other than that, I think it's like you can find commonality, and that's the funny thing about it. It's kind of like what's the difference between a human and a watermelon? Not a lot, because we're both mostly water. It's the same kind of thing. There are differences, but we got to remember what the things that are similar. Has a lot of debt. Oh yeah. Ooh yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Don't want to take that on. Don't worry. I'll have a check for you. Just thank you, Richie. Obviously, if it happens, I'd be very happy for you, but unnecessary. Then she teased me about our day, told me how we met when I was up there. Nice. Aw. I miss Tom. Haven't talked to him in forever. Yeah. Tom's great. Tom's he's on Instagram for the most part, and this is the only thing I'm doing for social media because I don't have the oof. What's the oof for? Yeah, I don't have I'm trying to maintain a level of sanity. This is the place you're gonna find me for now. If anything should change, I'll definitely post on it. But for now, if Greek slaves and you'll have problems with Italians, oh yeah. Dude, that's my point, right? But yeah, if anything should change, I'll let you guys know. But for right now, this is going to be the only place I'll be doing social media stuff. It's just I don't have the bandwidth. I'm always amazed. It's like I will listen to videos, I will watch videos when I'm like at the bench or something like that. But I do a lot of YouTube listening. I can't read stuff and then just flick through it. To me, it reminds me of right before I got into this hobby. My daughter introduced me to a Star Trek game on the phone on the Android platform, I guess. Anyway, so I was playing that, and I was noticing it's like I'm spending an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours or more a day on this thing. And as I started getting into certain levels, I kept on telling my daughter, "Hey, I made it to this level," and she's like, "Man, you just surpassed me." It suddenly dawned on me, it's like I'm spending way too much time on this. So this thing here is becoming, I'm trying to keep it at bay where possible. Look, I do a lot of research. I look into things. I read a lot of stuff on there. But one of the things I try not to do is use that for a lot of social media stuff, except for, like I said, listening to some video and channels that I follow. But I don't know how I got into this topic. But anyway, I apologize. But yeah, just trying to keep my sanity on stuff that's out there. Anyway. Jesus, that was fun. Just knocked everything over. That was like a cascade of issues. Anyway, just kind of keep sanity. That's what I'm getting at. All right, let's bend. Let's bend this one in because it popped. It looks like it popped out. Yeah, I can't overdo it on social media. So for the time being, this is home. All right, I'm going to trim back just a smidge off of this one. There we go. You had the time to do it. Yeah. Yep. Hey, Ken, good morning, fellow weekenders. What's going on, Ken? How's the garden? How's the organic garlic? I don't think Ray's here, so we can talk about organic garlic. Time to go food shopping. I'll be back. Sounds good, Richie. We'll hopefully see you in a little bit. Scheiße. Wicked Scheiße. Yeah, I need to get a little bit more of a bend on this thing. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. There we go. That's good. Not even going to touch it any further. That one's good. Nothing wrong with delving into a good hobby. Absolutely. I'm backing out of social media. I only use Facebook anymore. Facebook, yeah, for marketplace. Yeah, I might. And I actually, when I have to do marketplace stuff, I actually ask my family to help me out with that. It's like I don't want to go on there if I can avoid it. But good for you. Rarely do Instagram. Preferably, social media has destroyed the world. I would say, like any tool, and we'll talk about this in a second, Chris. Like any tool, it has its good and its bad. And I think, unfortunately, we tend to get caught into the bad too often. Got a fish reading this morning. Other than that, they are pretty good. Some deer are nibbling on my tomatoes, but I don't mind. You don't mind? Why? Ken, Joe, people. Hey, Tom, good morning. Black Country Apex Nerd in the house. Yeah, so here's the example that I always use, Chris, is if you've got a hammer. Hammer's an awesome tool. Like I just use the hammer to take off some baseboard, I'll be using it again to tap in some nails to install a new baseboard. Hammers are great, right? If you take it to somebody's head, it's bad. Does that mean we should outlaw hammers and that kind of thing? And the answer is no. A hammer's a good tool. It depends on how it's used. And I think social media is sort of in that same position. If you use it wisely, and if you can be aware of what it can do, then great. If you get caught into it, TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all these other social media, even Blue Sky, all of it, YouTube. If you're so into it that it's taking over so much of your time and you're letting the algorithm kind of steer you, that's bad. Recognize it and then step away. Hey, I think social media is pretty cool. It serves a hell of a absolutely. I agree. We wouldn't, if we did not have social media, we would not be doing this right now. So that's why, again, you have to look at the good and accept and work with the good, like a hammer. I'm going to use it to pound nails. I'm going to extract nails when I need to, like a claw hammer, to be able to take something apart. Great. But if I use it on somebody, well, that's not great. Yes, we can make a joke about that, but no, you understand what I'm getting at. So that's why it's like, I think it's important. And I also think it's important when to know, it's like, you know what, I need to put this tool away. Like I said, for me personally, I'm totally fine with like not having, to see a bunch of people's work on Instagram anymore. I can actually do that now right here. A lot of, Tim is an example. Tim, Child of Mecca, he's doing a lot of stuff with his community where people are posting there. So if I want to see what people are working on, I could just go over there. I also don't need to discover every fucking good model maker out there. And what I mean by that is, if you think we got how many 7+ billion people and how many working in this hobby, a very small percentage, but it's still a fairly large number. Do I need to know all of them? And the answer is no. I think social media. Hey, before I forget, hey Tom, what's going on, brother? Good morning. It's pretty cool. It serves a hell of a purpose. I miss the days when we used it as a way to connect and create our community. I agree. And I think in some ways it's still doing that, but as we have matured through it, maybe our use case has changed or how other people use it has changed. So the whole feel is different. I mean, what do you think about that, Stefan? What if you only hit their hands with a hammer, like for a warning? Well, I'd still say that's pretty bad. I would rather use words than a hammer. Just me. That's just me. All right, let's see if I can get this last of the inner wires done. Then I got to work on the outer wire. Oh, too long. Cut. It's funny as fuck. The last time I did 8mm, it was too short. So I made all of these 9. One worked, and then all the other ones have been too long. Go figure. Yeah, because right now, this is probably somewhere just a little over 8mm long, and it's coming out pretty good. Oh yeah. There we go. All right, you guys are probably not going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can do this. Just a finger, Chris pushing the bounce. Well, how much can I actually use that hammer on a human? I mean, what's the minimal I can use? Chris, stop. Let's see if we can actually see this thing, if it'll come into focus at all. There we go. All right, so you can actually see all the lead wires. The inner, what I call the inner wires are done. Now I've got to work on the outer wire. I want to know you all. I want to know everyone. Yeah, not disagreeing with that. I'll admit I miss streaming and talking to people. Absolutely. Again, these are the tools that have been given to us, for better or worse. Now I understand that the frustration with social media is that as our data is collected and we are steered in certain directions. So if I follow a lot of left-leaning causes, now suddenly my entire bubble is created that way. If I follow a bunch of right-leaning causes, my bubble is created that way. When we are controlled by that, that's where it becomes problematic. And then we forget the reason for that. I remember the reason why I left Instagram was twofold. I started seeing a lot of political ads that I just didn't care for. But more importantly, it's like, when I first got into it, it's like, you click on somebody, you subscribe to them, or however it is, you follow them. I'm looking at all their stuff, all their content. And then the next thing I know, it's like, oh, there's a post from a friend. There are 2 posts from things I'm not following, an ad, a thing I'm not following, an ad, somebody I follow. And it's like, guys, I'm seeing more shit that I'm not interested in. So that was the reason why I stepped away from Instagram. It's like, this is, and I'm, like I said, it's not like I'm not being introduced to some cool new modelers every now and then, but it's like, I want to see what my friends are doing. So if we use it as a tool for following people that we like this, probably, if you got like, let's say 1,000 subscribers, or you're subscribed to 1,000 people, there might be like 20 or 30 people that's like, these are the people who are friends that I really want to follow, and they never came up in my feed. So better to just move over to this platform. And at least this way, on a live stream, the chances are the people who are going to be popping in are people that, I've known for a while, or new friends, or what have you. And we can have a little bit more of less of a chance of, having stuff we don't want pop in. Now, granted, you're also not seeing, close-up pictures of my work until I actually post them, but so be it. Yeah, that's why I left Instagram. Plus, how crazy the politics I got during COVID. I just had enough. Absolutely. And I'm hoping other people did the same thing, And that's the important thing to remember. It's like, sometimes it's important to remember, we feel like, oh, I hate Instagram, but I got to have it. Well, no, you don't. It's the number of times I hear, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this about this thing, but I just can't give it up. Well, that's on you. All right, let's do the outer ones. Now, this one I'm going to have to play with a little bit. In fact, I'm going to test with this shorter piece here. Let's measure, see how long it is. That's funny. I thought this would have been shorter, but this one's 9mm as well. Let's see how long it is. This is probably going to be too long. Almost guaranteed it's going to be too long for what I need. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, by like a long mile. All right, we're going to cut it back by a couple of millimeter. What did I say? 9. We're going to bring it back to, I'm going to say 6. Let's try to see what 6 looks like. It's actually 8. We're going to bring it down to 6 and see what happens. Let's see. Bitching about social media. Not necessarily bitching about it, just understanding it. I can't give up on my George. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Chris. Yeah. I think it's not about bitching about it, Tom, but your point is valid. It's about understanding what you have. That's all. Understanding that, like I was saying, it's a tool. And if you use it well, great. And if you don't, not great. But you have control. You have the power. And now suddenly that song is in my head. Hello. There we go. Yes. I just have to bend this thing correctly, but I think we got the right length now. I'll go a little bit longer. Yeah, I think we're going to go a little bit longer on this. But let's see if I can actually use it somewhere else. Madre de Dios. I'm having a hard time with this. Set that down for a second. I have the Captain Planet song stuck in my head. Nice. I'm sorry to hear that. Before I forget, for those of us who are or will be, happy Father's Day. Hopefully everybody, is anybody who is a dad having any plans for the weekend? And if you're not a dad, do you have any plans for the weekend? I use it for videos of animals getting onto sports fields during play. Give me a cat on the pitch video, and I am chuffed. Ken. Kids want to make breakfast for me. Kid wants to make breakfast for you. That's awesome. Please, Tom, please tell me you're like, I'm all over that. The best part about kids is making them. It's certainly, I wouldn't say the best part. It's certainly a fun part. I remember when, I'm going to go a little bit longer on this one. Yeah, this is a little too short. When we were talking about having kids, my wife and I, ancient days ago. And I remember thinking at the time, it's like, I wonder what it's going to be. I'm not used to it. It wasn't real until we actually had our first daughter. And since then, it's like, it's amazing how life has changed, right? I'm grilling for my dad. Haven't heard any plans from my kid. Nice. Maybe. Have you seen Don Cheadle as Captain Planet? I have not. Don Cheadle as Captain Planet? That's kind of cool. Smoked a corned beef brisket yesterday. Going to make corned beef hash today. Nice. But she likes surprises, so who knows? Oh, see, that's kind of cool. She likes surprises, huh? But once you have kids, it's like you can't. There's nothing that you can do to prepare for it. Nothing until you're in it. My younger daughter last night had a bit of a crisis of faith about a couple things, and my wife and I were just sitting there and we were just talking about it for 45 minutes, and in the end you're just sitting there and just like, I would do anything for this kid. Smoked corned beef can stunt your growth, especially if there's no what they call it in it, if there's no organic garlic in it, right? Wait, that is cigarettes. Why is she getting a surprise? No. It's the other way. She's going to surprise Chris on Father's Day. All right, we're going to go to 6.5. I think we're going to start with that. 5, 6.5. Let's see what that looks like. Shall we? And if 6.5 works, I'm going to cut a bunch of them the same length, and then we'll do the same thing we did the last time. I'm just going to place them in here, glue them into place. But when you have kids, and again, and I'm not saying that people should, everybody's got to make their own decisions as to whether to have them or not have them. That's on you, But from my perspective, it's been quite the journey, and I've appreciated the journey quite a bit. Yeah, that's it right there. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna pop that one out, glue it in place, go to town. I bet I'll help horizontal growth. It could. She likes to surprise people. I found my garlic cloves in the same slime that transformed the Ninja Turtles. Nice. Maybe we shouldn't have kids. I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's funny how we've got licenses for everything. You want to drive, you have to have a license. You want to drink, you have to be of a certain age. You want to have kids, knock them out. It's like, Yeah. Because here's the thing, it's like every step of this journey, I mean, I've discovered, and I say that I discovered because it's an individual discovery. You can't read about it. It's every step from the time they're born. I mean, my kids are now what? My older daughter's about to turn 24. Jesus Christ, I can't believe she's 24. And my younger one is 19, right? Every one of those journeys, every day is something you learn something new. And you have to parent in a way, you still have to parent, not the same way you did when they were different, but you're what you do and how you treat them and all of what you learn about them every day is like something you're learning. So they're learning, you're learning, right? We like to think that when they're like 2, 3, 4 years old, Stefan, he can talk about this, as a preschool teacher, right? We think that we educate them, but along the way, we're learning as well how to be a parent, how to work within whatever things they have inside them, right? We'd like to think that, oh, they're just like us. And the answer is no, they're themselves. I'm not sure if this is making any sense at all, but from my perspective, I've always felt like a child is somebody that you teach, but you're learning from them. Not necessarily they're teaching you, but you're learning from them. Well, that's right. A piss in the gene pool. Exactly. Reminds me, I found a Christmas card from your family. Did you really? Man, I think that's the last Christmas card we sent, Chris. God. I got, it's funny about Christmas cards. I think they're very nice. And I appreciate when we receive them and everything. At the same time, I like Christmas letters and stuff like that. I I receive, when I get cards from people, it's like I haven't talked to you in like a fucking dog's age. And I know this sounds cold, and I appreciate seeing stuff from them, but at the same time, my thought is, if we haven't stayed in communication, why are you spending the, $3 or whatever, sending me a card? I would rather just communicate with somebody on a regular basis than just send hey, by the way, I still exist every, December 24th. I have to learn all the time, I thought. Yeah, oh yeah, all the time. Absolutely. And to me, that's the one thing that I really have enjoyed about kids. Like, I've learned so much. I've also learned a lot about myself and both my strengths and my limitations. Population control is a slippery slope, however. Ain't that true? Oh, yeah. Especially in this day and age when there are people who think that there are, it's very, what's the best way of putting it? It's better, very much with some people, I think a handsmaid tale kind of approach. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Where you were yelled at about when you were at that age. Oh, absolutely. It's because we care, Gio. We do care. We care about what? Yep, I have all couple family cards on my wall. On my work. That's cool. And maybe one of these days we'll do it again. I don't know. I just feel like it's like, oh, we'll send it out to this person, that person. I think I have their address, but I haven't really talked to them in like 11 years. Okay. And, let's be honest. Also, I'm sure I'm not the greatest at communicating anyway. So, all right, let's pop this thing out. Actually, before we pop it out, let's get some glue laid down again. It's because we care that we send you a Christmas card. I get that. I guess the question is, and maybe this is kind of my own cross to bear. Is it because you're doing it because you care to send me because you care about me, or is it about you wanting to communicate about you? And I'm terrible at communicating this. I'm not sure how that's. I'm not sure. I really don't know. Here we go. We're fighting. Okay. If I ever do another Christmas card, you will get one, Chris. I promise you. But I kind of wonder about that. It's like, it's almost like an obligation. I feel it's like a personal obligation to send something, but it's almost like at times it feels like, at least from my perspective, when I've sent them in the past for some people, it's like, I just got to do it. I got to send it to this person. And it's just a unique when I think about it that way, I'm thinking, then why would I do it? I'm pulling in Eddie Haskell. I'll need a favor in a week or two. I'm doing summer school because I wanted to be there for my students. Really? Jesus, man. I got to tell you, Stefan, I'm tickled pink by your love of what you're doing. Get almost full circle conversation. Blows me away that there are people like yourself out there doing what you do, and we don't treat what you do with the kind of respect that it really deserves, especially when somebody's passionate about it. One of the things that I appreciate, my sister works in the LA school system. She works at Fairfax, and what I love hearing about from her when she's there is her her love for the kids. So she runs a film class there, and her when she talks about the kids there, a lot of whom are coming from, incredibly difficult backgrounds, right? And when she talks about the kids who are in these classes, when she sees the kids coming to her in more of her day role there, there are invariably she talks about how she loves these kids and how passionate she is to try to do what she can to help them along as best as she possibly can. It's great. You know, my wife, who's also in private schools, what I find fascinating about what she does is when she talks about the policies and procedures they're trying to set up within her department, it seems like it does two things. Obviously, they talk about how we can make sure that the school is healthy, but also, are we doing right by the kids that we're admitting? And I think that to me is such a strong motivator for good people in bringing up our kids. I like them because I like to hear from people. I try to communicate to people, but I'm such an introvert. I forget. Chris, I'm the same way, and that's why, in some ways, doing this thing on a daily basis is one of the things that I try to do to stay in contact with a lot of people who. And again, it's a method. It's not the only or the right method, but it is a method. I love doing this because I'm able to stay in contact with a lot of people who, like yourself. I met you once in person. I wish we could be hanging out a lot more, but I'm glad when you pop in. I haven't seen Stefan in it's got to be at least a year. It's nice to see that he's popped in. Obviously, Ray is a local. Tom, I've met a few times because he's in New York. So there's a bunch of people that I've met, or some people I haven't. But this venue gives me the ability to do something on a more daily basis. And look, how much model work am I getting done? Not a lot. This really is more of a venue for just kind of staying in contact with people while I'm also trying to do something here. Because frankly, if this was all about model work, I wouldn't be live streaming. I'd be getting a lot more work done. So when I'm bitching about why is this project taking forever to get done, it's because this is my time to do it, and I don't put as much time into the model, and that's okay. Okay, doctor's visit. Doctor's visit now? Tom, everything okay? Good luck today, brother. Fill me in later, please. I'm sure you're disappointed in the lack of foreign objects found in your yard. I've had your address for a while now. Foreign objects. Like what? Trash? That's good. Get up for that. Annual check. On a Saturday morning at 7:30? God damn. I like your doctor. All right, let's cut a few of these things. Let me see how many we got. We got what did I say? 6 left to do. We're gonna go at 6.5. 1. 2. 3. 4. Let's see how long this one is. Goddamn Shazam. It's 13. Cut this one in half. There we go. 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's Gloomin. Let's see. But it is 4 I know. Absolutely. It's nice to just hang out and chat. Yeah. At 4 a.m. in the morning. I know. You guys, again, you West Coast guys, man, God bless you. It's like one of my favorite Halloween pranks, pumpkin switching, take a bunch of large decorations, then neatly replace them on a house across the street. That's awesome. Pet switching is pet switching. I didn't realize I had a Pekingese. That was always the vibe on your stream, bro. Nah, I appreciate it. That's, yeah. Yeah. You're not going to learn much from me. I guess that's kind of part of it. You know, if you're, as I say it all the time, if you're coming here to learn how to become a good modeler, you're on the wrong station. You might learn a few things, but that's not the goal here. The goal is conversation. So thank you, Steph. I appreciate hearing that. And actually, that, I feel like mission accomplished in that regard. All right, let's glue this thing in. Whoopsies. There we go. 1. There we go. I'm digging. There's 1. I put in 1 piece of wire. Let's just take a break, take a coffee break, read the emails or the posts. Just wants to give him barf. That's right. Ken wants barf. Truth. I love that cat. Have you met that cat? Or are you just seeing him from pictures? You had your chance. I would have brought you his sibling. You loser. Speaking of, Ray, do you have any additional free cats, or do you know of any? A colleague of my wife's is looking for potentially 2 cats, 2 kittens. If you know of somebody, let me know. I think they might have a line on them, but if not, then I can at least get that information over to her. Let me know. Glasses on. Hello. Well, shite. It's having a hard time with this one now. Let's try this again. 1, 2. Fix that one in a second. I don't right this second. I'll keep an ear out. I usually wait for the cat distribution system. Yeah. This kitten season, so animal centers should have adoptables. Yeah. Yeah. My younger daughter came to us and said, a friend of mine just had kittens. Can we get one? And we're like, no, we've got 3. We just lost one. I'm trying to get it down to 2. I think that's manageable in this household. But she's like, she really put the full court press on it. My wife's like, look, I got a colleague who might be needing some kittens. Why don't we turn them over to her? But I'm not sure how that's going, so that's why. Anyway, kitten season. There we go. All right, that one's in place. Let's get another one of these in. All right, cooking along now, friends. One, two, two, three left. I love it. We're almost done. I'd really like to get this thing ready so I can get it primed tonight if possible. Barf is number 6. You got to be kidding me, right? Meow. Nice, Ray. Okay. There we go. 2 more. Man, this is good. If I can get this done today, this morning, I'll be really happy. Just got to get this off the plate. Actually was perfect in both directions. Well, in the community, we have about 20. So if you drive through, you get the color you want. We have Siamese orange, Russian blue, tuxedo, calico. Take your pick. Joe, question. Are these all kind of like neighborhood cats? I mean, they just like breeding like rabbits, literally. Sorry, I just spit. Are they just breeding like rabbits? I'm sure they're all mutts at this point, if that's the case. And again, I don't care about purebreds. I think it's just kind of cool. Just the one family under the office deck had a deer at the entrance. What? Just the one family under the office deck had a deer at the entrance yesterday. That's kind of cool. I'm hoping it ran away after a little while. I.e., didn't get hit. There we go. All right. We'll let that dry a little bit. We're going to bend them into shape. I need to add to my cat army. Edwin, how many cats do you have now? Something tells me you're at 3, maybe 4. Outside cats, yeah. That's the one thing none of our cats are outside cats. They're all indoor cats. They have to be. Too busy in the area around here. And frankly, what are the statistics that indoor cats last longer? Edwin's feline army. Exactly. Righty. Let's get rid of that little scrappy bit. Let's bend some of these, and then what we're going to do is we're going to hit thin cement on top of the first ones that I did. Yeah, you definitely have to do that. There's one. Just bending all of these into shape. 2. Scheisse. Why did you come out? Because you could. Well, fuck. You weren't supposed to do that. Fuck you very much. Anyway. You was born in the middle of the community last year. I like to think we have fresh food delivery. Oh my God, Joe. Who is still missing in action? Number 1 goes to Susu, 2 Boba, 3 Mona Lisa. I love the names, by the way. Mona Lisa, Boba's wife. When did they get hitched? Oh, I thought that was going to be a Dearborn. Joe. Nice. Well, back to bed, George. I need to get another hour or 2 sleep. No worries, Chris. Good seeing you, brother. Always pleasure having you on. And have fun today. And if we don't talk beforehand, happy Father's Day to you. To you and your dad. All right, let's glue these things in. Back to bed. Chris needs his beauty sleep. Not that he needs much. All right. Schnoozel. Thank you. You as well. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Chris. Deer, turkeys, rabbits, voles, and a metric ton of cats. And a resident brought an alligator once. Hey, wow. They got hitched just a few weeks ago after I brought her home. Remember, both are underage. Oh my God. Edwin, what kind of brothel are you running? At the day of marriage, Bowman seems to regret he got a feisty wife. Oh God, that's awesome. I love that, Edwin. He got a feisty wife. Hey, keeping him on his toes, I'm sure. Oh, mercy. Whew. There we go. I like that feisty wife. All right, perfect. There we go. Let's get some of these things glued into place now. Memory serves. Ooh, hello. Not that much. I think we need to get a little bit more control on this. So I'm going to have to pick this up. Come on. Really? I'm gonna go to the inner one. Oof, that was a little too much. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna leave it just like that. Like my mom used to got nothing to do. He just sacked Boba in the face. Boba was like, "What did I do?" Dude, if you have to ask, that's funny. Right. Got that. That. Those are up. There we go. All right. That engine is now done. Next thing is, like I said, is going to be to get get it primed. I'm gonna actually bend some of the wires a little bit. Just gonna tweak it out a little bit. But for right now, gonna get it primed. Sorry, just getting some of this towel that got stuck on here VSCA off my fingers. Let's put some of the tools away. I got a shit ton of tweezers. I should figure out which ones I use and which ones I don't. All right, that's done. Set that aside. All right. One thing I do want to work on, I got to get back to it at some point. I've got to get the louvering done inside of here. What I have not figured out is how I'm going to mount it all in there. Still working on that. But I think I might just have to do one piece at a time and just glue it into place. Also got to figure out how many I want to drop in there. Let's take a look at this real quickly. Let's measure. So we got louvering on this side. Then I've got to get these intakes that are now ready to be installed on here. In fact, you know what? I'm going to work on this right now because I really want to get these things installed. That'll take forever. It's like 1,000 episodes. Nice. Ray. How far down do I want to go? I don't think I want to go too far. The question is, how much of this do I want? I'm going to be hollowing a lot of this out, which is fine. I'll do it right there. All right, we got a long way to go. We have to shape the shit out of this thing. Give me a second here. I got a big honking piece of plastic I got to get rid of. right. The shape gets shaped in the shaper machine. The shaper machine? All right, let's make sure I get the right. So we'll do this. Set those aside. That aside. That aside. I can't remember. I think no. I've got to get some more shapes done on this thing. I still got a little bit more work to do on this. I just got to get a couple more greebly bits on here. I got my greebly bits on the way, which I'm happy about. Let's see if this will work. It's definitely better. Yeah, getting rid of that one piece. One piece. Yes, I said it again. One piece. How much time we got? Ooh, not much time at all. That goes in the square hole. Is that what it is? So I could do this a couple different ways. The first is I am going to try to get this thing mounted here. I'm going to grind down some of the plastic. We might actually do some gap filling. I have not decided yet. So when getting this thing to actually sit here properly, it might require like some kind of puttying. But before we get to that, let's get the plastic at least shaped a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's it. The rest of it's just going to have to get gap filled. Yeah, we're going to do that. All right. Oh, shit. The one thing I forgot to do. Fuck. Got to work on this. I got to bring this area up. I got to re-angle the dangle. I'm back. Welcome back, Richie. We are going to have to do quite a bit of work here. So this is going to require quite a bit of moving this thing down. I got to eliminate at least a millimeter of material. Now let's get the file on it. I'm back. Back. Bastard on it. Wow, we've got 10 people joining. What's going on? Nick, what's going on, brother? Got a few more minutes before I got to bail. I just wanted to get some of this thing done before I go. Reshaping this in a cell. What's going on, Nick? How was your Friday? Let's see. I'm going to start Sandrock after I eat. Nice. What's for breakfast, Richie? Just thought of Nicholas from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking. Great freaking movie. Yeah, that was a good film. That was, I wouldn't say early Guy Ritchie, but certainly early in terms of his movies. I mean, he'd been making videos for a while. He did a lot of interesting work on that film. Like I think he was like one of the first guys to use that, filming something at like 120 frames a second and then eliminating frames in order to create like a slow effect. Or filming it at 120 to keep the slow effect and then eliminating frames in order to get it back to normal. So a guy would be running down the stairs and he'd be running at a normal rate and then suddenly slowing down and then coming back up and speeding up again to normal rate. I just pulled a muscle in my back, so I took the day. Ooh, and did nothing Friday. Oh my God, Richie, I'm sorry, Nick, are you all right, brother? Let's have like 5 logos to make up for clients. Ooh. Yeah. By the way, Richie, might be tapping you for some graphics for the PatCon sticker. I put the call out to our membership, but if nobody responds, you're going to be my boy. That's what that looks like. Oh gosh, yeah, much better. Yeah, definitely not coming into contact anymore. Good. Just got to refine it a little bit. But we're looking good. All logos. Nice. Motrin twice a day for a week. Was this a work injury or otherwise? I'm hoping. Okay. Six more minutes in a roll. I don't want to do that. I want to throw this back. But back injuries, that sucks. Sorry, Nick. Yeah, I'll be all right by Monday. And beers, PRN for breakthrough pain. Beers? Are you suggesting that he drink alcohol? What? Yeah, that's good. All right. Checking the designs out to see if I need to tweak anything. I appreciate it, Richie. Yeah, like I said, it's like I've got the call out to the membership, but if nobody comes through, I need a graphic. Actually, I got to start working. Oh, fuck. What's today? 20th? I've got a week to get the PatCon website up, and I've got to write an article too. Shit, it's going to be a busy week. It's going to be a busy IPMS week. I'm done drinking till July 18th. Nice. Why the 18th? I'm assuming this is a birthday. My advice to you, start drinking heavily. Yep. Blutowski. Take painkillers and drink alcohol. Ken's always got the best advice. Exactly. All right. We're not going to rush this anymore. So what I've done is this whole bottom of the wing here, I've just ground that back. So I have to get something inside it, but that's all been moved back. I'm going to put a straight piece on it and call that done. Paste it just a flat stock on there. Yeah, that's good. Let's push this in a little bit more. In fact, we're going to see if I can break that off a little bit. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's in. Don't care what happens to it. Great. All right, so we're going to put a piece of flat stock on top of that. So we'll start working on that either later today or tomorrow. Get this. I'm just setting this stuff in front here, ready to go, because I'm going to be doing hopefully some work later tonight. Priming that, getting this thing flattened, getting this thing mounted. I'm going to see if I can get some of that done tonight. No promises, but I'm hoping for. Never hesitate to medicate. Yeah. All right, my friends, time for me to roll. Head upstairs, hang out with the missus for a little while with the family, and then get ready to go to the Greek festival. The cathedral in town every other year. This is their 25th, which means they do it for 50 years. Every other year they do a Greek festival, which is always I enjoy it. You get to have everything Greek. Yum. Anyway, including lunch, which is delicious. Anyway, with that, guys, stay safe and stay sane. Go out there and do good. Brighten the world as much as you possibly can. Every day. It just seems like things are sliding more into hatred, into abusing people, abusing power, all of that stuff. It just, again, my mind, this is foreign because, frankly, this is what it should be all about. Taking care of people, doing right by people, showing kindness, love, and respect. Go out there, do good, enjoy, and brighten somebody's day. Don't make it miserable. Brighten it. All right, guys, do good, enjoy the day, and I will see you on the flip side. Get a new combolo. Hey, Ken, if you're bored, come to the festival. We're going to be there at noon. Just saying. Anyway, guys, do good. Love you all. Catch you tomorrow. Peace. Ray, that invite's open to you too, by the way.